Good morning, children. I hope all of you are doing well at your home. So, today we are going to do the exercise in your textbook. Okay. And the last class we just completed that story, The Overcoat. Is it interesting? Very much interesting, isn't it? Not just like other ghost stories or any other stories that related with supernatural elements. It was very strange, isn't it? But very nice story. But usually, after reading ghost stories or watching any movie just like that, we will not get enough sleep, isn't it? I just used to like that. Okay, what if we want to go outside from our house? We want our parents present, isn't it? Just usual or traditional ghost stories are like that. But this one is too much different from that, isn't it? It was very nice, and I hope all of you understood that story. Now we can start with the exercises, isn't it? Okay. Tick the correct options. The narrator did not want to go to Kabadia's house or to the Kabadias because. So here we have to find out what is the reason that our narrator did not want to go to Kabadias. And what is the reason? Huh? What was that reason? Huh? A, B, or C? It was cold and frosty evening. He was scared of kabadiyas or he was feeling lazy. Yes, he was feeling lazy because of that cold wind or that atmosphere. He just not want to go. He feels lazy. He just want to lay down in his bed and okay, just like that. So he was feeling lazy. Then, second one, the narrator did not deny that Julie was his friend because Julie was his friend in reality. Julie looked lonely and needed company. He was feeling sorry, bored at the Kabadias party. What is the reason? Julie was his friend in reality. That is absolutely wrong. So, second one, Julie looked lonely and needed company. He was feeling bored at Kabadia's party. No, Kabadias are much familiar with our narrator, so he will not feel bored at their house. So, what was the reason? Yes, Julie looked lonely and needed company. That was the reason. In the sentence, I will just scramble up the hillside. The word scramble tells us Julie is very agile. Julie wants to go back home. Julie's scared of the war. What was the reason? Yes, Julie is very care. Then fourth one, Julie died at the young age of 15, 16 or 17. Hmm? Yes, 16. The story is about a hill station and a young girl's unfulfilled dreams, a birthday party. What is it? Yes, it's about a young girl's unfulfilled dreams. So, children, you do one thing. You just go through the chapter, and after that, only you just try to complete this work. Okay. Now, I will try to give question answers and read the sentences from this story today itself. Okay, I will just try to. Okay, next one is vocabulary section. It's very easy. Often we are able to understand the meaning of an unfamiliar with the help of the words around it. This is how we know the contextual meaning of the word. Okay, children, in 2 or 3 classes, I told you some words or some words are used in different situations in a different way. The same word is used in different situations in a different way. That is what contextual meaning. That means actually we don't know a word's meaning, but by reading the whole sentence or by understanding the whole situation, we will try to find out the meaning, actual meaning of that sentence. Okay, that is what contextual meaning of the word. Wait. Okay. Our inconsiderate neighbors are a nuisance because they play loud music every night. Here, nuisance means what? Here, after reading the whole sentence, we will understand that what nuisance is a negative word because the narrator says that what the neighbors playing loud music at night is disturbing or annoying. Okay, from the whole sentence itself, we understood the meaning of nuisance. Nuisance means what? It's bothersome. That means it's disturbing or annoying. It disturbs others. Okay, so here we understand that nuisance is a negative word because the narrator says the neighbors playing loud music at night is disturbing or annoying. The sentence sounds like a complaint. Thus, the word nuisance definitely refers to something that is bothersome. Bothersome means disturbing or annoying. Okay. This is what contextual meaning. Okay. Now you have to do one thing. Read these sentences and tick the correct meanings of the verbs in color. What you have to do? You have to read the given 5 sentences again and again. That means repeatedly you have to read. And after that, you have to find out the meaning of the words that is given in color from the given options. And please don't refer any dictionary or anything like that. Okay, you just read it again and again, repeatedly read that sentences, then you will be able to do that. Okay children, now we can do one thing. We can move towards next section. Next section is very easy. It's about types of sentences. You know there are 4 types of sentences. First one is declarative, second one is interrogative, imperative and exclamatory. So declarative sentence means what? I think all of you know what is that. Declarative sentence means what? It's a statement. It's about something. Okay, then interrogative means it's a question. It may be yes or no question or WH question. Okay, 2 types of interrogative. Wait. Two types of interrogative sentences are there. Okay, interrogative means questions, yes or no questions and WH questions. These yes or no questions begin with what? These yes or no questions begin with auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs means which are the auxiliary verbs? Is, are, was, were, has, have, had, do, did. Just it will go on. Okay. This is what auxiliary verbs. And one more thing, this yes or no questions give an answer as yes or no. Was it raining outside? No, it's not raining. Is it cold? No, it's not cold. Okay. And WH question means it begins with question words. Which are okay, what, which, when, how, just like that. Okay, so 2 types of interrogative interrogative sentences are there. Yes or no question or WH question. Okay, then imperative. Imperative means you know. Imperative sentence refers to what? Imperative sentence refers to what? Request, advice, order, just like that. Okay. Last one is exclamatory sentence. Okay, last one is exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentence means what? Exclamatory sentence is what? Exclamatory sentence gives us what? It expresses our strong feelings. Okay, it expresses our sudden feeling, then such as what? Sorrow, our happiness, wonder, joy, all these are exclamatory sentences. Okay, so there are 4 types of sentences: declarative sentence, interrogative, imperative and exclamatory. Okay, and 2 types of interrogative sentences are there: yes or no questions or WH questions. Okay, now we can move towards our textbook. Okay, 4 types. Okay, Ruskin Bond writes delightful stories. It's a declarative sentence. Why? Because it states or it tells us something, and at the end we can find out a full stop. Then, have you read this short story, The Hour Caught? Huh? So it ends with question mark, so we know it's an interrogative sentence, and it also asks a question. Then third one, what is that? Oh, I have read that amazing story. So it's an imperative or exclamatory. Huh? Yes, it's an exclamatory sentence. Why? Because it expresses strong feelings. She is very happy to say that, oh, I have read that amazing story. It's an amazing story, so I likes it very much. Huh? Clear. Then please read it if you haven't it. So it's what here it's make a request and it ends with a full stop. So children, this is an imperative sentence. Sometimes it makes a request, advice, order or command. All these types of sentences are called imperative sentences. Okay, clear? Now, so the first example, what was that first example? Ruskin Bond. Let me see. Yes, Ruskin Bond write delightful stories and it says something and ends with a full stop. So that is declarative sentence. The second example is an interrogative sentence. Have you read his short story, The Overcoat? Okay, it asks a question and ends with a question mark. Then the third example is an imperative sentence. It's make a request and ends with a full stop. Sentences that give some advice or an order or a command are also imperative sentences. The last sentence is an example of exclamatory sentence. It expresses strong feelings such as wonder, joy and sorrow. So children, so many sentences are given there as examples. So we can together go through that. Declarative: Harry Potter loved his pet owl Hedwig. The day was a long and tiring one. The cats were fighting over a ball of wool. Superman is my favorite hero. The books were scattered on the floor of my study. Then, study here, study means study room. Okay. Interrogative sentences: Where should I keep the shoes? Why are you going upstairs? Do you like tea or coffee? Which is your favorite city? How do you know the owner of the art gallery? Please be quiet in the library. You should resolve this issue soon. Take a right when you reach the subway. Bring me some rock salt. Please shut the door after you. Then exclamatory. How wonderful the place is. Wow, what a fast car. Ah, I stubbed my big toe on the bedpost. What a pity she could not travel with us. What a lovely birthday card. So, declarative sentence ends with full stop. Interrogative, okay, not only declarative but also imperative sentence ends with full stop, then interrogative question mark and exclamatory sentence with an exclamation mark. Okay, now one exercise is given here. Rearrange the words to form meaningful sentences. Then write whether the sentences are declarative, interrogative, imperative or exclamatory. Okay, you have to find out. I hope all of you will do this. And next one we are going to study transformation of sentence. How we can change sentences from one form to another. So first one we are going to study how we can transform a declarative sentence into what interrogative and interrogative sentence into declarative. So first of all children, two sentences are given there. Not not only 2 but also 4. Okay, the house is just a ruin. Is this house a ruin? Julie lived at Woolsworth. Did Julie live at Woolsworth? So here children, here I think through this exercise or through this part we are dealing with yes or no questions. Okay, now here let me find out the brush. Okay, here we can find out. Here we can find out the question begin with the auxiliary verb. The same auxiliary verb that is used in the sentence. Isn't it? The house is just a ruin. Is the house a ruin? So here Julie lived at Woolsworth. Did Julie live at Woolsworth? Here why we use did? Because lived. The verb lived refers to past tense. It's a past form of live, isn't it? So actually the verb lived is like this. Live plus did is lived. Okay. So here did Julie live at Woolsworth? Okay. So auxiliary verb, then auxiliary verb with main verb or just like that. Okay, verb plus then subject. Here this is a subject and this is the object. Okay, so is then the house plus a ruin. Clear, just is not needed. Okay, clear. I think all of you understood. So auxiliary verb, aux verb plus subject. Yes, okay, subject plus object. Clear. Now, so declarative sentences can be changed to interrogative sentences by shifting the position of the auxiliary verb or helping verb. Okay, auxiliary verbs here, just go through this box. Auxiliary verbs or helping verbs helps the main verbs to form different tenses and voices. They are be. So children, be form are there. Be family, do family and have family. Okay, be family means are, is, was, were. Do family means do, does, did. And have family means has, have, had. Okay, then modals are there. Modals means will, would, may, might, shall, should. All these are modals. Okay, so auxiliary verbs or helping verbs help the main verbs to form different sentences. Different tenses and voices. So be family is there. Be family, do family, have family and modals. You just keep this in your mind. Okay, now here two sentences are given there. Priya was knitting a sweater. Was Priya knitting a sweater? So here first one is declarative and second one is interrogative. Here the auxiliary verb was is placed at the beginning of the sentence to ask a question. If there is no auxiliary verb in the declarative sentence, we note the tense of the verb change it suitably. That we discussed there. Here that is what we discuss here. We have to find out in which tense the sentence is about. Here lived means past tense, simple past tense. Okay, so did plus live is lived, so we use did here. Clear? Wait. So many network issues are there, children. Okay. Then we use a suitable form of auxiliary verb do at the beginning of the sentence to ask a question. Clear? So this is very easy. Now read the examples to know how an interrogative sentence is changed to a declarative sentence. Let us together do. Okay. Huh? We can together try to do. Okay. Is it raining? So first of all we have to write the subject. So it. Then what is the auxiliary verb used here? Yes. So it is raining. Then put a full stop. Next one. Was it difficult to climb the hill? Here, which is the subject? Yes, it is the subject. So, it after that aux verb, which is the, not aux verb. In a short form, we used to say auxiliary verb as aux form. Okay, aux verb. Okay. So, which is the auxiliary verb used here? Auxiliary verb or helping verb, which is that? Yes, was. So, it was difficult to climb the hill. Okay. Next one. Does she play the piano? Here, auxiliary verb is does. We can't use does here. She does play the piano. So, here, does is the auxiliary verb. And which is the main verb we use here? Yes, play is the main verb. So, children, play plus does is what? Play plus does is plays. So here you have to write she plays the piano. Okay. Then so do means they hear the elephant's call. Clear. Now this one. Declarative to interrogative. The children love playing football in the field. The children love playing football in the field. So here love means what? Here subject is singular or plural? Yes, the children means it's a plural subject. So love is used there. So now we have to split this verb. We have to split this verb love. So do plus love is love. Clear. So now you know which is the aux verb used there. Now try to change that. Yes. Do the children playing football in the field. Next one, has the tailor stitched the clothes? It's very easy. Which is the subject there? Yes, the tailor. Then has. The tailor has stitched the cloth. Okay. Third one, the mountain climbers were shivering in the cold. What is that? Just try to say. Yes, where the mountain climbers shivering in the cold. Next one. Does the shop sell ribbons? So here another one, it's sell. Now we have to split sell. So do plus sell is sell. Now you know which is the aux verb. So children. So does is given here. I'm sorry. Does is given here. Does plus sell is what? Sells. I'm sorry. So the shop sells ribbons. Next one, the detective visited. Visited is in past form. So did plus visit is visited. Did the detective visit his client in the dead of night? Sixth one, have the soldiers gone home? The soldiers have gone home. Okay, once more. If we want to change a sentence, okay, declarative sentence into interrogative sentence, we have to find out, or we have to know the sentence is in which tense. Okay. And after that, we have to do what? We have to change it suitably. That means if the sentence is in past tense, while changing it into into interrogative form, we have to begin with did and the verb must be in first form. Okay. Then we can just try to understand next one also. Okay. Now next one is we have to change declarative sentence into exclamatory and exclamatory sentence into declarative. Now listen, one examples are given here. So the view from the room was enchanting. How enchanting the view from the room was? It was such a windy day. What a windy day it was. What a competitive match it was. It was a competitive match. How gracefully she dances. She dances so gracefully. So, children, it's given that we change a declarative sentence into an exclamatory sentence by usually using what or how. We use what, a or an before an adjective that is followed by a noun. We use how before an adjective that is followed by a noun or followed by a noun. Okay, that is not followed by a noun. Just begin. First one. The view from the room was enchanting. Okay, here the word enchanting is what? Is an adjective, isn't it? The enchanting is an adjective and it's followed by the noun room, isn't it? That's why we used children, are you following? Huh? So once more children, the view from the room was enchanting. How enchanting the view from the room was. Here, or we can say how the view from the room looks like. Huh? It's the only question, and its answer is enchanting, isn't it? That's why how is used there. How enchanting the view from the room was. So, how, and after that, one adjective, then subject, then aux verb. Clear? It's the easy way to change from declarative to exclamatory. Okay. Then, it was such a windy day. What a day it was. What a windy day it was. We can only use what there. Why? Because an adjective is followed by a noun. Clear? So, what a windy day it was. Windy day. So, windy is an adjective that describes the noun day. So, what a. So, we have to use, if we are using what, we have to use a or an. Okay, clear. If the given adjective starts with an word, a vowel, we have to use an. If it's a consonant, we have to use an. Okay, so what a windy day it was. Then, what a competitive match it was. It was a competitive match. How gracefully she dances. Here, why we use how here? How gracefully she dances, because there is no noun there, isn't it? There is no noun followed by that adjective, isn't it? She dances so gracefully. But here in the first sentence, also what? Enchanting is there, it's an adjective, but there is no noun followed by this adjective enchanting. But in the second sentence, it was such a windy day. Okay. Here, the adjective windy is followed by a noun. That's why we use what here. Okay, we change a declarative sentence to an exclamatory sentence by using what or how. We use what, a or an before an adjective that is followed by a noun. We use how before an adjective that is not followed by a noun. So you just try to do the exercise 1, this exercise C from question number 1 to 5. So in the next class we can discuss this once again. Okay, but you just try to do this. Wait, children. I have some problem with my phone. Okay. Okay, children, thank you and have a nice day. And one more thing before winding up our class, we can discuss this declarative sentence or the transformation of declarative sentence into exclamatory and exclamatory sentence into declarative once more if you want. If you want further explanation, okay, you just try to do this exercise at your home. Thank you.